Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Z. I'm a clinical psychologist specializing in adult transgender care. Welcome to my channel. If you are new or a regular viewer here and has not had a chance yet to subscribe, what are you waiting for? Not only will be helping tremendously me in subscribing, but you're also helping a lot of other people find this content. So your subscription does matter. Your subscription to this channel comes at no cost to you, and it helps me and it helps so many others. So do please subscribe. If you are a trans woman, trans femme identified, and you don't yet follow me on Instagram, my link is below. Also go ahead and support me on there. Why? Because I create content specifically to some of the challenges that you are facing. I created on there with tips and guidance, all made specifically for you. So make sure you also do follow me on there. And also, it's those of you who are interested in Circle of Trans Womanhood, it is open, link is below. It is a subscription service where you connect to sisterhood community. But more than that, what it is about is doing inner work to detox imposter syndrome, to work on inner confidence. In other words, to work on all of that inner work to own who you are on your own terms, with over 15 video recorded workshops, all designed by me, all very different from the content you get from YouTube. So link is below. For today's video, I want to talk to all of you about a very specific challenge that occurs somewhere between the beginning of stepping into gender transition and before you actually reach the midpoint. So somewhere in that between, there becomes a phase in an individual's journey where you start to second guess yourself and you start wondering whether you are on the right track. I've seen this again and again and again with adults, and I want to share with you why that happens. I want to lend you an explanation why this tends to occur, so that way you are familiar with it. That way, if it is happening to you, especially primarily now, it doesn't surprise you. You are aware of it, and you have an understanding why this is happening for you. Very, very important. So what am I talking about exactly? Let me give you an example that may illuminate it the best. When a lot of you start gender transition, there is initially a period of a combination of feeling factors. On one hand, you feel scared. Some of you might feel scared, and maybe even an element of feeling overwhelmed, stepping into transition. And then the combination of that is also an element of excitement, an element of, wow, I'm doing this, an element of, I'm finally doing it, an element of a sense of, even a sense of, how should I say it, a sense of inner pride and self-accomplishment that you are now confronting something that has been challenging for you to confront. For a lot of individuals, gender transition, social transition, and also a combination of social and medical hormones is going to be the primary factors. It doesn't mean that everybody has to get into medical or social. For a lot of people, it just happens to be the primary first steps. And when you first start out, there is an element again of liberation, affirmation. For a lot of people, feel like they're on the right track, and a lot of you are going to feel, especially these hormones, the hormones are going to undoubtedly either affirm your steps and affirm how you feel about yourself, but also for a lot of you going to give you that sense and boost of confidence. It's also going to alleviate dysphoria inside of your headspace, and by alleviating dysphoria inside of your headspace, it's also going to make you feel more secure and more confident that you're on the right track. In the beginning, that initial confidence, or maybe initial feelings of feeling affirmed, initial feelings that I am on the right track, I am doing the right thing, are natural and a big part of so many of your experiences. What then happens? After the initial, it's almost like a euphoric high in the beginning, right? Or just a happy high for a lot of people. What then happens is once then an individual starts moving more forward and starts now sinking into an element of reality, of steps you are going to have to take, and an element of reality of things that are going to be attached to those steps. When I say an element of reality, I'm not saying that a lot of you are unaware of challenges that come with transition. There's a different thing between being aware and not yet experiencing it yet because it hasn't come yet. And there's a difference between being aware and knowing that it's around the corner. The proximity to that actually taking place creates an inner tension. And when a lot of you start to realize that the next steps are of reality that you already knew, for example, coming out. Maybe coming out for you before starting your gender transition was something that you realized is going to be scary. And part of you maybe was thinking the reason why it was so scary for you is because you were afraid that some people around you are going to pull away from you, or are going to maybe question your sense of selfhood, or maybe going to not be very supportive, right? That's a lot of underlying fear for a lot of individuals. But at the same time, the reality of that was kind of distant because it's not there yet. But now, because you are actively transitioning, that reality is closer. Because it is closer, you're starting to feel and realize all of these obstacles that might come with it. In other words, you become that much more close to fear of what might happen, whatever fears you might inhabit. And once you start thinking about all of the challenges that you're going to have to combat, all of the challenges that you're going to have to confront, the fear starts to exponentially grow for a lot of you. Just in of itself, thinking about challenges to coming out, challenges to, okay, I'm on hormones, the next step will be for me to slowly start to present. That's another challenge. I'm afraid how that's going to pan out. Okay, then the next challenge might be this, or the next challenge might be that. Once you start to realize from the beginning, before you hit the midpoint of the challenges, what you perceive as challenges in front of you, those challenges, thinking about those challenges and sitting in a fear starts to backfire on a lot of you. And for a lot of you, that backfiring starts to create an inner sense of questioning. That's when a lot of you might find yourself question, am I on the right track? Am I making the right decision? Is this really the right steps for me? So questioning, in my experience, are going to be less around, is this really who I am? Is this truly my identity? And much more about, am I doing the right thing? Is now the right time? Maybe I should wait a year or two. Is it even worth it doing it at all? It's going to be more externally focused and more focused on external elements of transition. Very important to point out. The uncertainty you're going to experience is going to do much more less, in my experience, with your sense of who you are, and more whether it is the right time right now to keep moving forward with gender transition. And because you're going to be second guessing whether this is the right thing for you, a lot of you might start overthinking every step you're taking. And a lot of you might start thinking whether you should just kind of pull back. Maybe right now is not the right time. You're going to start justifying and rationalizing a lot of your fears. Here's the things that I'm going to tell you. This period in the beginning, when you're about to confront all of those challenges, that undoubtedly brings up fears within you, and then leads to you questioning whether you are in the right place and the right time doing what you're supposed to be doing. It's going to happen regardless. It's going to happen whether time is right or whether time is even more ripe. A lot of people, for example, feel that right now with current politics, it is absolutely not the right time and they should wait. The truth is, if you wait and if you're going to do it later when the politics are shifting and changing, that also may not be the right time. In other words, when we're confronted with challenges, it's almost always feels like it's not the right time. That's the whole premise of the challenges. Challenges make us question whether we should be doing certain things right now because they bring up hardships. It is hard. They also bring up an element of fear. And when we're scared, we're prone to pulling ourselves back. We're prone to resetting ourselves to status quo, and status quo is some level of comfort zone, some level of feeling content. If you are right now in that past, that first euphoric, joyful beginning, confidence, affirmation place, and if you're right now in this pocket that I'm talking about, where you are now realizing the challenges you're going to have to confront, and gender transition, without a doubt, is going to bring challenges of different degree, of different duration, and for everybody it's going to be different. But there are challenges. Anything in life that is big and worthwhile doing, such as embracing your authentic self, will come with certain challenges because you're moving away from particular sense of self toward a more authentic self, and that period of moving away, that evolution process, that growth process, is not easy to do. We as humans are prone to seek pleasure and avoid pain. Freud got it right. So the challenge is still going to be there. So if you are second guessing whether you are on the right track or if this is the right time, trust me when I say there is really no such thing as the right time. The time is now. The time is now. And now is all we have. So I really encourage for you to realize that if you are in that pocket, to acknowledge that one of the main reasons why you are in that pocket is because you're just now getting much more up close and personal with the challenges in front of you. And that's okay. That's okay. It's okay to feel the way you do. So I really encourage for you to think about it this way, because I've seen some people that tend to just regress. I've seen people who stop their transition altogether because they strongly believe that all of the things are telling them that this is just not the right time. These are just challenges talking to you. If you find yourself in the spirit, comment and share below. If you have been in the spirit and pushed through, comment and share what was waiting for you on the other side. But like I said, challenges are always going to be there. And challenges are not there to second guess whether you are on the right track. They're there to let you know that the tension you experience, the difficulties that you are meeting, are there because they're part of it. They're part of it. Part of any kind of big evolution such as this one is going to come with all of those components. That is just the way it is. So comment below, share, let me know where you're at. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your feedback. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Goodbye.